Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network Live. WoodwardSports.com. As always, Adham, Beydoun, Jeff, Iafrate. What up, Jeff?
What's going on?
Your hair's growing back, buddy.
Yeah,
I'm happy for you.
It's coming in. It's a little spiky today, but it's okay. We're working through it.
So what does this mean for you as a bachelor?
I don't. It's just my hair.
Like,
it's spiky now.
When it comes back, are you going to put yourself out there?
I mean, no.
No?
No, I mean the
I'm
hair.
Just saying.
The hair. I mean, it's a work in progress. This is only a month, almost 2 months.
No, it's been almost 2 months.
Yeah, almost 2 months. Man, it's been
2 months. Man.
I looked back at the photos when I first initially got it shaved, and
it looked like shit. I don't even know how we let you on the network.
Yeah, no, I'm not disputing any of that. It was bad. No more betting my hair in Michigan. But last night, got to see the Pistons and Red Wings. I mean, 2 losses, so it wasn't ideal.
It's normal. It's a normal night in Detroit.
Well, it was normal for the Pistons. The way the Red Wings lost, it was an interesting game, to say the least. But, hey, you don't have Husso in net.
Can't win them all.
Questionable officiating. It is what it is. But the Pistons lost. They had half their starting lineup out, and they still were able to hang in there. James Wiseman played well. So yesterday it's 2 losses, but there's some things to take away.
Well, look, today is one of the better days that come around really in the offseason for the NFL. For nerds like everybody in this room, and for any of you nerds at home, today is the official start of the NFL Draft Combine. Well, there we go. The NFL Combine starting, and we got a lot of players to look forward to. Of course, Jeff and I will give our player spotlights at 8:45 and 9 o'clock. I can't wait. Jeff going to the secondary. I'll be going to the quarterback position today.
Yep.
And I'm going to make a case / defend / just have a conversation about a very special quarterback that has been linked to Detroit really since late December, early January. Okay? We do this every offseason, but damn it, let's have some fun today. Why not? All right? But we'll start with the Combine today. Who are you looking forward to the most? Drop the names in the chat. Hell, it doesn't even need to be a name. It can be a position group. You tell me what you're looking forward to over the NFL Combine, who you want to see throw, who won't be throwing, if you want to talk about quarterbacks, linebackers, speed drills for the secondary players. Man, this is the best time of the year leading up to the draft, in my opinion, more than anything. The pro days are nice, but this is everything.
Yeah, and this is a lot for a lot of players too. Guys like Emmanuel Forbes, when you're teetering between that first round, this will solidify your spot. Now, a couple positions I'm excited for. Clearly corner, I think that's obvious. I mean, as someone, we talk about the Lions all the time. We know what their needs are. It's corner. So we're going to be looking at those drills. But the other players I'm also interested in seeing, Beydoun Robinson. I want to see how he tests guys like that, because I think Beydoun, again, I'll keep repeating this, I believe he's a top 10 player in the draft, but he's not going to go top 10. So depending on how he tests, we'll see. I mean, even you go back last year to the last year's Combine, you saw a lot of guys. You have great Combines. What that does for your draft position, it's incredible. So I'm excited, man. I love the Combine. It starts when? I believe Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, March 2nd. So a couple days. You got defensive line throughout the next couple days. So I'm excited. I really am.
Well, look, here's where things get interesting. You make or break your financial situation heading into the NFL draft. Think about it. If you are teetering on the 3rd round, the money you make between a 3rd round pick and a 2nd round pick is a big difference.
Oh, yeah.
And the same goes for if you're an early to mid or even late 2nd round pick and you show out, you could be drafted in the 1st round, which is life-changing. So, I mean, these kids have a lot to compete for, a lot to play for, in theory.
And it's not just the physical testing; it's also the mental side.
The interviews.
That's huge.
I'm looking at Keely Ringo.
Ooh, I like that one.
This is a guy that, and I'm only sharing with you what I've seen gone on. I may be completely wrong in this, but this is what I've seen. I've seen a kid that before the college football season ended, he was a projected top 10 pick. On some boards, only a handful, I see him as a late first-round pick. Almost everywhere else, it's a second to even early third-round pick. I'm not sure what the hell happened. Would love to see him test out. Now, we had a conversation about Keely Ringo. What does he do well? He's explosive, but is he a lockdown, shutdown corner coming out day one? Probably not. But you know what? Another guy you're going to look for? Bryce Young. He's not throwing. And he's reportedly measured in at 5'10 and a half. What does that mean for his draft status? We're going to talk about Anthony Richardson later. Like, all these measurables. Now, once it all comes out, then everybody starts to really form the opinion. And, I was watching... Who was I watching yesterday? Gosh. Colin Cowherd. Talking with Sean Payton. It was a previous interview from a few weeks ago. And Sean Payton had an interesting theory. He said, when you're picking in the top 10... and Sean was having this conversation with Bill Parcells and Ron Wolf. The conversation was, when you're drafting in the top 10, you don't deviate from prototype players. I'm like, okay, like, makes sense. Like, you get it. You want the guy, the physical built, but why would they say that? Oh, well, Bryce Young coming in at 5'10 and a half. That's not prototypical. Is he really going to fall out of the top 10? I don't think so. But, well, who's been that height that hasn't had major success? Well, Baker was short and had the most balls batted down at the line of scrimmage over a 3-year span in the NFL. So it does suck. Is he Drew Brees? I hope. That'd be great. That'd be great for the league. Would love to see another Drew Brees. But, that was his point. And I'm looking now at, you're just going through the list of guys that are going to want to show out. Quentin Johnston has an opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
He has, quote, all the intangibles. He's the prototypical wide receiver. He has an opportunity to really leapfrog everybody in this draft and go possibly top 15. Remember, we talk about the four most important positions in football, guys. Quarterback, left tackle, pass rusher, wide receiver. Yeah, Smith and Jimba is going to be in the conversation between 10, not even 10, probably 12 and 18. But Johnston is going to have an opportunity to wow people. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to all the guys, Jeff, that we're not sure of.
Yeah.
And that you have an idea of where they could go, but the next week will determine almost everything.
Yeah, and that's position groups. Like, you could bring up the wide receivers or the corners. Like the two position groups where you're not really sold on who's 1, 2, 3, or 4. Like, corners, we bring up Witherspoon. We assume he's the number one corner, but Gonzalez.
Yep.
Like, it's really
Gonzalez
pick your
probably
flavor.
Going to test really well. By
Joey
the way.
Porter, your guy. So, like, these guys have a huge opportunity depending on how they test. You're really going to be able to separate yourself from the rest of the field. So, wide receiver's a great one. Quentin Johnston, Jackson Smith, Jordan Addison. Like, there's a couple names. So, yeah, those two position groups, man, that's what makes the Combine so great. And you're going to have to go back and watch tape after you watch the Combine. Be like, did I miss something? Like, is this guy 4.3 speed? Did I catch that on film? Like, there's a lot of things
there's
guys are
always
going to
be the Combine heroes and the Combine losers, right? So I brought up earlier guys that are going to be able to make their way up the board. Well, what about the guys that are going to fall? Mid to late first-round picks that don't do well and fall out of the first round. Life-changing money lost. Second-round picks that don't perform at all fall to the third round. Life-changing money falling off. There is so much pressure on these kids in life, let alone heading into this Combine. You're not sure where you're going to be taken. Obviously, there's the guys that know. Yeah, you just know, but everybody else, it's free game. There's about 10, 12, 14, maybe 16 guaranteed players that are going to go in the first round. 100%. Yep. You know who they are. I name them. You're going to say, yep, that's a first-round pick. Maybe even 20. But everything else, from about 20, 22 to the third round, you couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. So I can't wait. I can't wait for the Combine. I'm so excited. It's going to be great. Fan mock drafts coming in at 8:30, by the way. As always, I've enjoyed this so much. I've enjoyed it more than last year. I think last year we did it a little bit different. This is just part of the programming now.
Yeah, and
every single day.
And you notice how you've actually gotten less frustrated with a lot of these mock drafts? I feel like they've improved for the most part.
I think situation has changed. Last year, going into the draft, a 3-13-1 football team, they could not fuck it up. I was not playing with any of you at home. In this draft, Well, one, the GM has a track record, so I think everybody's calm. And two, it seems like everybody's on the same page. Need secondary help? Check. Could use a guard later in the draft. Some people go out and get them in the first round, second round. Okay, not what I would do, but that's fine. I can at least have a conversation about it.
Right.
They want a running back? Good. Later on in the draft, thank you. Quarterback? Later on in the draft, typically, thank you. Outside of the few people that have submitted their mocks with a quarterback at pick 6, pick 9, depending on if they trade back.
Yep.
You get interior line support, great. Almost everybody's on the same page. It's now a preference of who you're drafting.
Right. Yeah, that's what it comes down to. And again, I love the point you made yesterday about watching the combine. It is more interesting just simply watching the combine than watching other sporting events, to be honest with you.
And the players are completely different,
yes.
Right? They're not padded up. It is so different. I think Woodward Sports posted this yesterday about Kirby Joseph and his NFL combine workout, and it was flawless. And you're looking back, and again, hindsight 2020, maybe not for everybody in Detroit, because when he was drafted, everybody, and I wouldn't say everybody, but media in general, especially at this network, were in love with the idea of him or Nick Cross. The fact that he fell where he did was a home run for this football team.
Yeah.
Ended up having a phenomenal season.
Sauce Gardner, his combine was... his 40 time, he nailed it. And then he goes top 5, and look at the career.
Top 3.
Oh, yeah, top 3.
Wait, did he go 3? I think he went 3, right?
He was the second corner. Stingley was the first corner.
Stingley went 3, he went 4.
Yeah.
Yep, you're correct.
Regardless, he had a tremendous rookie season. So
he was the best corner in football.
Yeah,
So, look, the combine makes or breaks your stock value.
Yep.
In theory. Some people can make it up at a pro day. Pro days typically really just benefit quarterbacks the most, in my opinion. It's a comfortable environment. You get to throw again with the receivers that you have rapport with. It's whatever. The combine for me is everything. I can't wait.
I love this too. Mike says, Juicy, you guys should do a mock WSN combine. 40 bench, 3-cone pass
I don't think anybody wants to see that. I don't think anybody wants to see Maz running a 40.
I want to see the heavyweights.
Ryan Romani doing a 3-cone drill. Pass catching by the heavyweight. I don't think anybody wants to see it.
Lucas is planning something like that.
Lucas? Oh, gosh.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Look, coming up next, the entire country is all in on the Detroit Lions. It is the most bet future, according to Caesar Sportsbook at the moment. How the hell did we get here? And are we set up for disappointment? We'll get to that next. 8:45, player spotlight with Jeff. He'll be going to the secondary. I'll be hitting up the quarterback position at 9 o'clock. At 9:15, we'll get to Fish's 10 favorite moments at Woodward Sports. Have a little fun today. 9:30, Carson Wentz released. What does it mean for the Detroit Lions and their ability to trade back, potentially acquire a haul of picks? Who knows? We'll get to that conversation at 9:30 and so much more coming up later. But before we go, I got to tell you about my good friends over at Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, no appointment necessary. Their awesome stylists will take care of you like they take care of me. So get to a Lady Jane's near you. And as always, Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com. As always, is the best time of the year. You get to have a conversation about a million hypotheticals you're not you're not held accountable for. Most of you aren't, I should say. But Vegas has the Lions at 12-1 odds to win the NFC, and it's one of the most bet on futures in the market right now.
Because the odds,
the entire country,
the odds, baby,
is loving the Detroit Lions at the money. Obviously, you can get them for 12-1. It's a good dollar. Now, if you don't know what 12-1 means, it means if you bet $100, you're winning $1,200. Yeah. It's quite the bet. Like, that is a bettor's dream. You're basically 12xing your money.
Yep.
Having said that, realistically, forget the draft, forget free agency, forget everything. Knowing what you know about this team, this offensive coordinator, this quarterback, this wide receiving core, this offensive line, the defense in a good way and the defense in a bad way, and where they struggle. And look at your head coach. Look at your defensive coordinator. Are you going to buy into this? Are you guys buying in? That's my question for all of you at home. Are you buying in? And are we setting, or I shouldn't say are we setting it up, but are the Lions being set up to under-deliver? To be considered as one of the top teams in the NFC? Boy, I haven't heard that in, 10, 12, 13 years. Well, wait. Why? Well, it's not because they're doing everything right. It's more so the NFC is trash.
Yeah.
And the Commanders suck. And the Panthers suck. And the Giants are average.
But I think
the Saints are average.
There's a little bit of that stigma gone, I think, a little bit from
I agree.
The same old Lions narrative. But you're also correct. The NFC is
But this is the
not
lowest
that deep.
ebb of the NFC we've ever seen, at least in my lifetime. I've never seen it weaker. I've never seen more shit quarterbacks in the NFC in my life. Yeah. I've never seen more shit coaches in the NFC in my life. It is there for the taking. You have Ron Rivera, who doesn't even know what his team's playoff contention status is in the NFC. You have a coach in Arizona now taking over that really, I don't like writing off people, but good luck in Arizona. Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins probably gonna leave. He's not staying. Who knows? Who knows? I am very optimistic for this football team. This football team meaning the Lions. But are they getting set up to be talked about as a contender? I need to see what happens in free agency. I need to see what happens in the draft. Do I think they're contenders by default? Yeah, the NFC is that shit. And when you look at the last 10 games of the season, Jeff, who played better football? I'll tell you, nobody. Nobody. Maybe the Eagles and the Chiefs were up there.
The 49ers did. They won
like
10 in a row.
They won 10 in a row, but who was playing better football?
They were in that conversation.
You're talking about some of the best teams in the NFL.
Yep.
Nobody was playing better football. 8-2 down the stretch. Top 10, top 12, top 15 defense. Top 5 in certain pass rushing categories. There was not a team better. Takeaways, they were up there. And offensively, of course, they were a top 5 offense. Yeah, they dropped a game against Carolina. Unfortunate. But everybody else they ran through and they competed with, and they were 8-1 in every other game. The only loss coming to the Bills on Thanksgiving, I believe. They played like one of the better teams down the stretch. And I think it matters.
Yeah, and a lot of that, too, I mean, you talk about their divisional record, 5-1 in their own division. You got to win your division. And this is a team that a lot of people understand is on the uprise. And just seeing these odds, the 12-1 odds to bet on the Lions, two things it showed me. Number one, it's not just Detroiters betting on this, by the way. This is nationally, so it really shows the persona of the Lions is changing, and we've talked about that a lot. But the second thing is, you brought it up, how bad the NFC is. And it doesn't take away credit from the Lions, but it also lets you know, and this is why I've been harping on Jalen Ramsey or Bobby Wagner, trying to get players that can come in and contribute right away. It's because you're right there. Like, maybe you're not the Eagles right now or the 49ers right now, but you're right below them. We talk about this. We've been talking about this for weeks. You look at the NFC. Eagles, 49ers. Give me another team. I mean, if you want to say Cowboys, okay, but
Chiefs,
that's 3.
Chiefs,
in the NFC. In the NFC.
In terms of what? Contenders?
Just the best teams.
The best teams are the Eagles and the Niners. I think the Cowboys are super talented. I just think their quarterback is shit.
So even let's just give the Cowboys that nod. You're a top 4 team.
You're a top 4 team by default.
And that's before
Seattle better. Let me ask you: Seattle better than the Lions?
I think they're right under. Geno to me, I don't know what I'm getting out of Geno. That's a big part of it.
I think there's a big gap.
I think if Geno has the year he just had and their defense gets better, they'll be better. But no, I think the Lions are just better as a complete roster.
Who's better, the Lions roster or the Giants roster? It's not even
the
close
Lions
to
roster.
Lions.
Yeah, no question.
And down the stretch, I don't know who exactly it was in the chat. Somebody had mentioned, you guys didn't beat anybody down the stretch. Fair. Beat the Bears twice. Beat the Packers twice. But the Packers were in contention for a playoff spot.
Right.
And, last I checked, the Lions sent their asses home. They would have been a playoff team had the Lions not beaten them. The Giants were a playoff team. The Jacksonville Jaguars were a playoff team. Both had won playoff games. The Minnesota Vikings were a playoff team. You beat them.
Twice.
Am I missing something?
Once, but almost twice.
Down
Should
the
have been
stretch.
twice.
Am I missing something?
No.
The Jets? The Jets were in contention for a playoff spot. Now, out of those 8 wins, only 4 of them, not even 4, 3 of them were playoff teams. Fine. But 6 of those wins were against teams on the cusp of the playoffs. I don't want to hear that it was some cupcake schedule down the stretch.
That you had to win those games.
You had no room for error, and they did everything they could outside of shitting the bed against Carolina.
And that was after, and the whole thing that goes overlooked is that was after a 1-6 start.
That was a 1-6 start that turned into a 7-7.
Yeah.
7-7 chance.
You turn into 9-8 from 1-6. You go above 500. That's why next season, if you could just start above 500, and I know the schedule gets a little different. You face AFC a little bit more. You got the Chiefs on the road in Germany. Assuming it's in Germany, we'll see. It's going to be a little bit of a tougher schedule, but the Lions still had a very tough schedule. Like, even when they were 1-6, we talked about this too, the injuries, DJ Chark out, a lot of things. Aiden Hutchinson didn't really start hitting his stride. A lot of things went wrong. Dan Campbell, a lot of mistakes he made as a head coach just at the beginning. But when those things were corrected, the Lions were one of the hottest teams. That's what gives all these bettors confidence to put money on the Lions next season. Now, these are expectations. Dan Campbell, they haven't had these yet, so I'm curious to see how they deal with it, because again, this isn't just on the players, it's also Dan at the end of the day too. Like you talk about beating the Packers Sunday Night Football to end the season, those guys were fired up, they're ready to go play another game, and now we go to next season, assuming they're going to improve, because even if they don't make any moves, they'll improve by default, because Aiden will get better, Malcolm will get better, Kirby will get better. You're getting Tracy Walker back. I
think the Malcolm Rodriguez stuff is a bit overblown. I'm
not saying he'll turn into a superstar linebacker, but dude, from your rookie year to your second year, game's going to slow down a little bit for him. So a lot of optimism, and rightfully so for the Lions. Honestly.
I don't recall the Lions going into a year as contenders or among the favorites since 11-5 that offseason after they had lost to, I want to say, the Cowboys.
But that was a playoff berth. This team didn't even make the playoffs, and they were 9-8. And people are optimistic.
I've seen the comp a lot. Oh, the Eagles were 9-8, and then they got to a Super Bowl. This is totally different. The Lions are not the Eagles. I'll tell you why. If the Lions want to be like the Eagles and really take that step forward, you talk Jalen Ramsey, you talk Bobby Wagner, you got to make some moves. You're going to have to move some picks. You're going to have to move some money. Because I got some news for you guys. Aquara's not going to cut it. Anzalone, Malcolm Rodriguez, not going to cut it. Jeff Okudah in a rookie corner this year, starting, not going to cut it.
But you'd argue those guys are probably placeholders for right now. Like Anzalone, I don't think you're starting.
Oh, I know. I'm just making the case. 9-8 to a Super Bowl berth.
Right. It ain't. No, I agree 100%. Yeah.
So there are going to be limitations with this. Can you build everything through the draft? Yeah, we've seen it across the league forever. But you have an abundance of draft picks. You have the ability to trade back, maneuver picks. Mm-hmm. Watch out for the Lions to be buyers. Sellers at first, but aggressive buyers coming close to the NFL draft. I can't wait.
Yeah, the Eagles were that. They got CJ. They got Hassan
Gardner-Johnson.
Reddick.
Yep. Hassan Reddick.
So they got guys. Like that's why I harp so much on Jalen Ramsey. I think the Lions will be more in these conversations. You're already seeing it being reported.
And remember, you have a quarterback that's getting paid at a discount to market. What does that mean? Well, he's playing at a $45 million. Statistically, he's playing at a $45 million price tag. I'm paying him $30 million. I can live with that. Now, anybody wants to bring up the idea of extending Goff, sure. I'll answer the phone. How much? 30, 35. Reportedly, Derek Carr's only asking for 35. So the market tells you no one's shelling out money unless you're Hurts,
Yep.
Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and I'm missing one other quarterback. Damn it, it's okay, whatever. Moving on. You get the point. Nobody wants to get stuck with a Dak Prescott contract.
No.
As you can see. Nobody wants to get stuck with a one-year committal to Kirk Cousins every year at $35-40 million. Nobody wants that. And Brad Holmes doesn't want that either. Now, is Jared Goff going to be a hot commodity? I mean, look, he has an opportunity to really solidify himself and really gain back his career. I have no reason to move off him right now. He played at an elite level. Having said that, that beginning part of the year can't ever happen again.
No.
But I'm also realistic. I know he can't reenact or he can't duplicate what he did down the stretch. 18-1 touchdown interception ratio, that's unheard of. That's fucking maddening. I don't expect him to do that. Now, do I expect him to play consistent the whole season? Yes. So there's a lot going well for the Lions and a lot of question marks they have to answer. And it starts with, are they going to buy? Are they going to go out and spend? Are they going to go out and give up capital to acquire players? Then you could talk to me about them being a contender.
Yeah.
They're still a bit away.
The more young players, especially rookies you have starting on your offense or defense, it kind of delays it a little bit. I mean, the Eagles, to their credit, I mean, they drafted well, but even guys like Jordan Davis, he didn't see the field a lot this year. Like, they had mostly veterans, so we'll see what the Lions could do. I think bringing in veterans is the next thing. Productive veterans. And you just saw yesterday, or it was actually this morning, De'Aaron Payne get franchise tagged for the Commanders.
Yep, I saw that.
$18 million. He was the first player to be franchise tagged this offseason.
You know who else is getting franchise tagged and traded away, by the way?
Who?
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, that's another one.
He'll be heading likely.
Atlanta?
To me, Atlanta makes the most sense. I don't think Baltimore will trade him to the NFC. I think Atlanta. It's got to be Atlanta only.
They have all the money. It makes sense.
It's a perfect fit.
Yeah.
They got the money. They're willing to spend money on an average quarterback. I think it's a great deal. Sorry. I couldn't help it. I was waiting to see your face. I don't mean it.
This guy.
Lamar's really good. He's really good.
They're getting a franchise
I just wouldn't pay him. Let's just clarify. Fair. I think he's a very good quarterback.
Yep.
I just wouldn't commit an 8-year contract for him. That's all. That's it.
Does he want 8 years?
Well, I mean, when you talk about a quarterback, you're talking 2 massive contracts.
Well, yeah.
You're expecting 12 to 14 years ideally for a franchise guy, but beyond the point.
No, the Falcons make the most sense.
Think he goes to the Saints? Saints have the capital too.
Hell.
They are, but they can move everybody and clean it all up right now. Yeah.
And figure it out.
I don't think they will, though.
Yeah.
I think they'll go to try and draft a quarterback this year. We'll see.
I think the Falcons, they need a quarterback. Makes sense.
All right, your fan mock drafts coming up next. I can't wait to have the conversation with all of you. Thank you, by the way, to everybody who submitted. I spent almost an hour last night scrolling through my DMs, trying to acknowledge and give all of you feedback. It has been insanely difficult. I'm still 100 messages behind. I swear to God I'll get to them, but I got to about 100 last night.
And I was
proud of myself.
I've been having that same, and that's why I want everyone to know if we don't get to your mock draft, it's not because we didn't see it. It's just because there's so many, and we can't do a whole show on just mock drafts. So
yeah, I wish I could.
We'll get to as many as we can, but keep sending them.
Mock drafts coming up next. I can't wait. Here we go. We got Fish's mock draft as well, by the way. Fish did a mock draft.
No!
So we'll open up with that. Yeah. Don't look at your screen. It'll be a surprise. All right, but before we go, Jeff, could you tell everybody about our good friends over at Cintron?
Cintron World is an aspirational lifestyle beverage brand with a line of sparkling flavored energy beverages and premium bottled water. Cintron is fashionable, functional, and fun. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, Cintron is your top choice. Buy online at drinkcintron.com. Cintron is also available at Amazon.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
At Alta, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, Alta has you covered. Call them today, 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com. My favorite part of the day, we get to talk to all of you, grade your mocks. Let's start with Fish. Fish is releasing his first ever mock draft.
Yay!
I don't know if I'm excited or really nervous. Maybe he found a way to trade the 6th overall pick for Desmond Ridder. Who knows?
Oh, Fish, did you make some splash moves?
All right, Fish, I'm going to throw it up on the screen. I'm going to throw it up on the screen.
You're going to be disappointed then, because I'm kind of disappointed myself on it,
why?
too.
Good.
Why are you
I like the negative
Because I
energy.
should have made like 59 trades. I did a second one, but
No,
I tried
don't
to
make
trade.
trades.
Well, I
Don't make
tried to trade the number 1 pick, but you have to be on super slow mo, and I can't wait 50 hours for 7 rounds of
Trades are
draft.
ugly. Don't do
Well,
trades.
here's what I
So-
want you to do. We're going to put it up on screen, and I want you to walk everybody at home through
Walk
your
people
board.
through it? Oh,
Yeah.
Just say what your
Throw it up.
mindset was
Let's see
when
it.
you're taking these guys. What'd you think of them?
Let's see it. Fish Kuiper.
Okay.
Fish Kuiper has Devon Witherspoon going 6th overall. Fish, walk me
Yeah.
through it, buddy.
There we go. So, I went with Devon Witherspoon. Cornerback. We need a cornerback.
You do? Yep.
He's the top pick that everyone's been talking about, so one of him. And, I mean, that's pretty much it. I really wonder if, like, the top needs that we need. So, I didn't do anything crazy.
So you just
like I
picked
probably
everybody who
should've.
was 1 on the board.
Yeah, essentially. I picked a few, like, 2s and 3s down there. I didn't really go too crazy. I don't know. I probably should have done crazy. I picked Jake Moody as the kicker.
That was an A+. I give you an A+ for that.
Okay, even though they gave me an F, which I figured that. But, no, I just went for all the things we need. A lot of linebackers, cornerbacks, because those are really we kind of need those. We don't really need many wide receivers. We're kind of
Fish
locked
didn't
on
give
that.
a single fuck. He
So,
drafted all defense and a kicker.
Yeah, I didn't really draft
Fish
any.
didn't draft a running
I
back.
didn't draft any running backs or anything.
You could tell Fish watches a lot of Big Ten football, right? I mean,
Yeah, literally, that's all he drafted outside of Brian Brisset.
Yeah, there was no single.
Look, you got a
in there.
kicker. That's the one
I
thing you
get a
did right.
kicker. Yeah.
100%. A+.
Which I don't like how you have to search for a kicker around there. They
Ho-
should
ho-
have a kicker
Because
as
they're
a-
not rated high, that's all.
Well,
So-
they should be.
put
Kicker's
the
important.
put the mock draft. I want to ask you, Fish. So
What's the game called? It's called
Fish,
football.
shut the hell up and let Jeff ask you the question.
You know what I love about this mock draft, Fish?
Yeah.
This is slightly OCD'd. I kind of like it. You went corner, back-to-back D lineman, back-to-back linebacker, back-to-back corner, and then you took a kicker.
Yeah, I think Fish is fucking stupid.
Well, you're not wrong. I mean, I just went through what we needed, and I didn't really put any.
Well,
Nobody
I
can
think
tell Fish he didn't answer the defense.
hopefully
I mean,
one of them works out, right? At each group. I think that's the strategy.
Yeah, I would
Just
hope
draft
so.
everything and hope one of them works.
I would hope
Fuck
so.
it.
Fish Kuiper. Fish Kuiper.
Fish
baby.
Kuiper.
No,
I
Well,
hope
thank you,
so.
Fish
I
Kuiper.
did end up. I tried to get the number 1 pick. I ended up trading Swift for like.
You know, I'm glad we didn't do this.
I got Swift for like. I had to trade like the first round pick of 24, second round, third round. I had to do some things. They wanted the 6th pick, which I thought was stupid. I'll give you the 18, not the 6.
You offered the Bears Swift.
But, yeah.
Did they thought about it? Are they thinking about it?
Well, they thought about it. I had to give them
Fish,
like
you're killing me
some
here.
third
You're killing me.
round
Shut
and a
the hell
second
up.
round
Just
of
shut up.
like
Mute
4
your mic.
years. What?
Mute your mic.
Hey, it's his last week.
I don't care.
You got to give him more
I don't care.
leniency. this
DeAndre
week.
Swift to the Bears.
Why-
Mute
why-
your fucking mic. Just mute it. God damn it.
Okay, I didn't know
Damn
who
it,
else
I
to
gotta
give
get to
away.
other people.
Who else do I want to give away?
Mute your mic.
Okay.
Alex,
Poor
let's throw up the
Fish.
next one. Jesus Christ. I'm giving you a D for that. Great, but that whole draft.
I'll
fine.
give you
That
a
was
PFF
awful.
gave you B minus.
Give me a D.
Well,
That's
no.
fine.
You're nice.
B
You're being
minus.
kind.
That's what he got, didn't it?
Jeff is being nice.
think you got a
I'm
B
being
minus.
honest.
Yeah, I'll give you a B
Let's throw
minus.
up the next mock draft. Let's see who this one's from. I think this one you sent, Jeff, no? No, I sent this one. This one is from Max on Instagram. Max sent me this DM, okay? He was very excited about it. And I can't sign off on this. As much as I like some of the players
And
on
I
this
love
board.
Dalton Kincaid, but I don't.
Jalen Carter
18.
at 6 makes this whole board work, okay?
Yep.
I'll paraphrase that.
That's fair. Yeah.
The idea of getting Carter at 6, I think, is super unrealistic, but the fact that you got him, this is excellent. Dalton Kincaid at 18. Look, I don't think you need a tight end in the first or second round. I don't. I think that could have easily been one of the 3-4 best corners in the draft you could have gotten your hands on.
Yeah.
All right, just my opinion. Having said that, I'll move past Dalton Kincaid, Jeff. Garrett Williams, Deion Henley, those are A-plus picks in my opinion.
And I like Eli Ricks a lot. And
Eli
I like
Ricks,
Dwayne
coached
McBride.
by Saban.
Yep, Dwayne McBride. I brought him up yesterday. Aiden O'Connell, Antonio Mafi. Honestly, this draft isn't bad. The only thing is Dalton Kincaid. It has nothing to do with the player.
It's still an A-plus draft in my
Love
opinion.
Dalton Kincaid a lot, but 18, like you just mentioned, you probably could have gotten like
You could have gotten a corner,
I'd have to
shirted up,
see who
and
was
at pick
available.
48, you could have reached maybe for Darnell Washington if you wanted a tight end so bad. But I think the drop-off between Garrett Williams and who's going to be available at 18 at corner, I think it's a big difference. But overall, Max, I think it's a great board. I do. I hate Dalton Kincaid. It's an F. But he got Jalen Carter. I mean, that alone makes the board an A. It just does. Sorry, guys. Moving on. Let's get to the next one.
Any question on that one?
Yeah, go for it.
So if you're going to take an offensive player, you two, at 18, are you going tight end? Are you going receiver, like a Quentin Richardson? Or are you going Bijan Robinson?
Where the fuck did Fish go?
Fish just ran out of here.
Let me get his mic.
No, you're fine. What are we doing here? I swear to God. I swear to God.
Fish just darted out.
I'm firing fucking everybody. Fuck this shit. What the hell are we doing here?
Dude, Matt. Okay, Matt. Anyway, all right, let's focus.
Is Matt good, Alex? Can you double check? Where the fuck did he go?
Check, mic check.
I'm lost for words. He just left. He just left. Fuck it. Last week at work, I don't give a shit.
I think you came at his mock draft.
It was shit. He drafted 5 corners and 4 defensive linemen.
Shit, I'm out. Fish it, I'm out. Screw this, man. I'm out. Man.
What? Shit happens.
Yeah.
Man, Bear Pick said.
No, I feel bad. We can't get mad.
You hurt his feelings. Fuck his feelings. I give a shit about his feelings. This is a business. This is a sports show. There's no fucking room for feelings. Having said that, Matt, is Matt good? This is my problem. Moving on. Throw up the next mock draft, please. Overall, I gave Max an A. I can't not give him an A.
Yeah, no,
he got Jalen Carter. But moving on to the next board. This was submitted on Instagram as well. A bit of a complicated board. A lot of trades.
Holy players.
Holy players indeed. Yeah. So hear me out. Before I give any feedback.
Here's Fish.
Can I get the camera? Where the fuck did you go? Where the fuck did you go?
We needed Matt's mic unmuted. It's okay, Fish. Where'd you go? Did you just get water?
To get Alex Westfall water?
No, he's a fucking bitch. He doesn't deserve water. I need you in the audio booth.
Trying to be nice here.
I know you're nice, Fish.
Okay.
We just needed you to unmute Matt's mic. We didn't have any, so we had to. We were stuck there.
Can't have nice things.
No,
Sounds good.
mute your mic and never talk and don't leave your booth, please. Mute your mic.
Why?
Shut it.
You want water too?
No.
Is that why?
No.
You're bitter because I didn't get you one?
Jesus
I
Christ.
think that's why, Fish. I think that's why.
All right. Let's throw up that mock draft. It was shit. That was the point I was trying to make. Way too many trades. You drafted basically an entire roster, dude. You drafted fucking 10 players. You drafted 20% of your active roster.
Adam's
You drafted 20% of your active roster. How PFF gave you a B is beyond me. It's beyond me. It's a shit fucking board. That was the point. I was going to be nicer about this.
No,
I'm too goddamn annoyed.
Yeah.
10 players, way too much.
Too many trades, man. And that's the problem, too. If you guys are going to send mock drafts, if there's like more than one trade, I don't know. It's
I
tough.
can't count. Was it 10 or 11 players?
It's 11.
Jesus
11
Christ.
players and 4
That's
trades.
more than 20% of your active roster.
We drafted an entire side. I mean, that's...
This dude literally just said, you know what? He's treating this team as if it's an expansion team where he's got to just draft a ton of players. He's got to fill the roster.
Garrett said you'd have to cut at least half these dudes.
100%. 100%. Who makes the team? The first 5 picks, maybe? Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Oh, my gosh. I love that.
God. Oh, Trey sent this one. Guys, he's DMing me right now. Poor guy. He's like, you would show that one on the show. Bro, it's the first one I saw.
Adam, you did him dirty.
I wasn't thinking.
All right.
God damn it.
Man, I'm having fun. I'm having fun with these.
What a morning.
You got any more?
We got one more, actually.
All right.
Yeah, let's throw it up on the screen. And let's hopefully end on a good note.
Yeah, can this...
Please be good.
All right, let's see.
Please be good.
Yeah, Fish, your draft was better. I can't lie.
No. Fish's draft was shit.
It was better.
It was shit. Don't you dare turn on your mic.
That's the one I should have done. That the one to follow the truth. I don't have any patience though to take 59 years to.
No, don't do all those trades, Fish.
As I was watching the Crews lose, by the way.
Yeah, because they suck balls.
I mean, they did for the first 3 4/5 quarter. Last 2 minutes. Yeah, last 2 minutes was kind of dreadful.
Alex, throw this one up. Let's see if this one stinks.
Adam sent me the same one twice.
Oh, did I?
That's
I apologize.
shocker.
Oh well, rip.
I'll say, let me pull one.
That's all good. Look, coming up next, player spotlight, Brian Branch.
Oh, I can't wait.
That is Jeff's player spotlight. I can't wait to hear this one. I don't know if he's a realistic target for Detroit, so I'm curious why he's.
I think so.
Why he's on the. I want to know.
Yep.
Because if we're all honest here, he's probably the most surefire secondary player coming out. Like, I would put a guarantee check mark next to him.
Yeah.
I know Brian Branch is going to work. I don't have any doubts. Coached by Saban. I'll let Jeff take care of the rest. No doubts about this kid. Can't wait to hear your thoughts on him. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at Guardian Alarm.
Well, on the topic of defense, let me tell you the most reliable defense, and that's Guardian Alarm. They got customized solutions from real experts. Their professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. 24/7 professional monitoring. Call them anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone with you for as long as you need. Technology backed by people as well. Your safety and security deserves technology. That's been proven to work, and people who have been proven to care. Call 1-800 Stay out for more information.
Stay out.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry. Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
All right, let me tell you about my good friends over at Custom Health Centers. If you don't want to lose your legs like Gary, you got to lose weight, all right? You got to lose weight. Call our friends over at Custom Health Centers to help you start your health journey today.
Well, he actually got
Dr.
his legs
Jason.
back, to be
He
honest
got
with
his legs back after he lost the weight, but they took it away until he lost the weight, right? Just got to motivate people. Just dangle their feet in front of them. Give them a call, 844-789-8446. We are back.
6 of them.
Here on the morning show, live, woodwardsports.com. Thank you guys for joining as always. We always appreciate it. It's always fun hanging out with everybody, but Brian Branch, safety out of Alabama. He's a hybrid. He's a hell of a player.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff, he's your player spotlight for the day. Walk me through him.
Well, he's the, by definition, jack of all trades. He is the versatile defender. You can call him the Swiss Army knife, whatever you want to call them. At Alabama, honestly, one of my favorite players slowly, as time goes on, the more I watch him. I mean, you look at what he did this year at Alabama and how many different positions he lined up at. He lined up mostly in the slot, which I think will be his position come the NFL. You see the key traits: fearless, excellent tackler, coached by Nick Saban, which you look at DBs, safeties, coached by Nick Saban.
Look at the NFL, they all work.
They typically all work out. But he played the slot, he lined up at corner, he lined up in the box, he lined up a deep safety, lined up at D-line, rushed the passer. He could do it all. And this is what makes him so valuable, too, I think. I mean, playing in the SEC, just overall with Branch, it's crazy, too. In 2022, he had an 89.5 PFF grade while allowing 36 receptions from 416 coverage snaps. Like, that's the type of player he is. And again, to speak more on his tackling ability, 4 misses on 174 career attempts. Like, this is what makes him so good, right? I mean, you has all the intangibles combining athleticism, football IQ, physicality. I mean, just this year alone filled up the stat sheet. He had 14 tackles for loss. 14. Had 3 sacks, 2 interceptions, 7 pass deflections. Just impact the game in a lot of different ways. And really, if you're looking at the Lions and what they need, you look at a guy who's an excellent tackler, someone you can use in the slot, 2 things the Lions do need. He's probably going to be a top 20 pick. This is somebody that I think if you go D-line at 6 and you're sitting there at 18 and Brian Branch is there, he's somebody you're going to at least have to consider. And he's not a safety. He's listed at it, but you could put him in a lot of different areas. Had an 86.4 coverage grade this year on PFF, 90.7 run defense grade. Doesn't miss many tackles. He's reliable, highly intelligent. I think the negatives, if you had to bring it up, probably his size. I mean, he's not small. He's 6 foot 193. But again, if you're blitzing him, using him in those types of packages, there is times, unless he has a clear lane to make a play, he'll make the play, but if he faces some adversity, usually he's not shedding blocks. So he again, somebody that isn't talked about as a top 10 pick, but somebody that is like you label, and we talked about it earlier, coached by Saban. He's going to be ready to play right away. He's if you look at players that can translate, Brian Branch is up there. And,
I think your first key trait that you wrote down,
fearless,
is everything.
Yes, he is
fearless. Mm-hmm. I can't say that about most safeties in the NFL. This is a guy that you come in, you talk about paying Sean Elliott. Look, I'm not going to sit here and go through mock drafts again, okay? But if I told you could walk away with Cansey at 6 and Branch at 18.
Oh, that's a good first round.
And then Garrett Williams in round 2. I think everyone's pretty happy.
Mm-hmm.
And now you found a guy that can play in the slot. You really take a lot of pressure off of Kirby Joseph and Tracy Walker. And no, I'm not expecting Branch to line up at corner like he did at times in college.
But he'd play in the slot for you.
He'll play in the slot.
Yeah.
And you become more versatile because now you never have to show more than 2 linebackers on the field. Oh, and did I forget to mention, Jeff, your player spotlight, did you not mention he was an excellent tackler? Excuse me.
Yep.
Actually, not excellent. He's the best tackler. Missed the fewest tackles in all college football.
4
among
in his career.
And
4 missed tackles.
You're getting a guy that can line up in the box to compensate for your lack of size, if that's what you want to go with. Oh my goodness, this to me is that would be a beautiful pick. I just struggle to find out how you would land him. Does that make sense? I don't think he's there at 18 ever.
And he might not be.
I don't think he'll ever be there. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I just don't see 17 teams passing up on probably the best secondary player coming out at his position.
I mean, yeah, he was highly scouted coming out of high school. He had offers to Ohio State, Tennessee, Oklahoma, chose to commit to Alabama. And you talk about player comps, one guy that consistently comes to mind, and PFF had his comparison, and I agree, it's Jimmy Ward. Like, how Jimmy Ward is used. Obviously, he has a higher ceiling, I believe, than Jimmy Ward. But still, Jimmy Ward, even his age now, how the 49ers utilize him in the slot. You can move him all around your defensive backfield. You can use him in a lot of different packages. Aaron Glenn would love a guy like Brian Branch. And the mentality he plays with, how he approaches the game, that mimics the type of player and the type of people Dan and Brad want to bring in the building. Like, he aligns with kind of the philosophy and the type of player they're looking for, the mold, and how they think, high IQ, how they play, super physical, like a guy that is just flying. You watch Alabama this year, you'll see Brian Branch in most plays defensively. It's just what it is. So, again, he's a player that, again, the more I watch, the more I like. And somebody that I'm excited to see in the combine, especially because, again, he's not just a safety. Like, he's just a defensive back. You can use him in a lot of different areas, and somebody that I think the Lions would absolutely utilize. But to your point, he might not be there at 18. So it's something you're going to have to think about.
Probably won't be there at 18. Interesting. He is a phenomenal player, phenomenal athlete. And when we talk about guys you want on defense, we talk about culture guys, right? Who fits this Detroit Lions culture, right? You drafted Aiden Hutchinson last year. He embodies everything about the city.
Right.
Everything about this football team, he embodies it. And then you have guys that feed off of that. Young players like Kirby Joseph. Well, in theory, if you were to move a second and a fourth, a second and a fifth, for Jalen Ramsey, and I told you next year, hypothetical, this is all I'm trying to spitball here to make it, to at least give you a sense of what it would look like. And Jalen Ramsey on one side, Garrett Williams on the other, barring with Jeff Okudah and the rest of the secondary players, Jerry Jacobs. In the slot, Brian Branch. On the edge, Aiden Hutchinson. Interior, Aleem McNeil. Interior, Kalijah Kancey. On the other edge, your choice, Houston Aquara. You can flip-flop everybody, be my guest. Linebacker, depending on the linebacker you want, get Jack Campbell. You can get Henley out of Washington State.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, Anzalone and Malcolm Rodriguez. And then you have Kirby and Tracy Walker at the top. I like that a lot.
And you can move these guys.
That's a defense I can buy into.
And Branch didn't play a ton of deep safety. He played, obviously, at Alabama. They utilize him in that way, but he doesn't have to just strictly be a safety. That's what makes him so great. You can use him, obviously, he's going to be a slot come the NFL, but how the Lions, you're blitzing the slot. Brian Branch does it well. Like I said, 14 tackles for loss, 3 sacks. He does a lot of things well. And I do think guys like Aaron Glenn, when you get your hands on somebody like Brian Branch, man, like what that does to your secondary day one, it'll be an impact player. Again, and you talk about Jalen Ramsey. I mean, that's the dream there to get him. But just to improve the secondary, Brian Branch in a draft where everyone brings up Witherspoon, Gonzalez, Joey Porter. Brian Branch kind of gets left on the outside of that because
because he doesn't play on the outside,
right?
Unfortunately,
quite literally, yeah, quite literally. So it's somebody that I think will creep up draft boards. But yeah, he's definitely in my mind, no question, a top 15-20 pick, and I do think depending on how he tests in the combine, he could shoot right up those draft boards.
I don't want to finish the talk about defense without bringing up this one player, and I wanted your quick thoughts before we move off Brian Branch. Mm-hmm. This is a kid, I bring up Kalijah Kancey. I tell you, hey, he was uber productive in college. Hey, he grades out so well. Hey, his use of leverage, Jeff this, hey, Jeff that. I don't shut my mouth when I talk to you. I can't help it. There's a kid out of Iowa State that if available at 48, if you told me I could walk away in the second round with Will McDonald and Deion Henley,
Yep.
If I told you you could walk away with another edge and a linebacker in the second round, you signing up, or are you in the camp, which, to be honest, from what I've seen, everybody that sent me mock drafts, everybody in this Woodward Sports chat, A lot of you are saying guard. I wouldn't. I think it's too early, but talk to me, Jeff. We talk about Brian Branch.
Yeah.
That would be excellent. You're going to draft an interior lineman, but Aquara costs $10 million, man.
Yeah, he does.
He's expensive.
And your rookie class, I mean, what will they have, like 20 sacks this year? Just in your rookie class? So it's not like they need Romeo. So again, for what he's making, absolutely.
And I'm getting a senior, an adult, a kid that attended college for 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Will McDonald, what do you think of him?
Oh, I haven't dove into the tape, but I've watched guys break him down. I haven't personally went and watched him, and I've only heard great things, especially guys that are well respected. So he's somebody that I personally, I mean, you don't. Again, we talk about the edge rushers, in this draft. Will McDonald doesn't get talked about a ton, but I'm telling you, the more you watch him, even you talk about the adult in the room. He's a fifth-year senior, but still his production, like he's at double-digit sacks in 2 seasons. He's uber productive. So another guy to watch out for. Like, there's a lot of guys that I think closer to the draft we'll get to because we're breaking a lot of these guys down. Yep. But, man, there's a ton of talent.
Well, I think at least I hope the next 10, 15 minutes you guys enjoy. I do.
Because I can't wait for this. I can't. Because I don't know which way you're going to go. You are going to
see a side of me maybe you haven't seen since we did the draft the cocaine stuff last year. Okay? Coming up next, my player spotlight today will be Anthony Richardson, quarterback out of Florida. Who are his comps? What does he do well? What doesn't he do well? I want to have a complete conversation with all of you. And I want to know if you're bought into the idea of the Lions not just drafting a quarterback, but specifically this guy, Anthony Richardson. So we'll get to him next, but before we do, Jeff, our good friends over at Chili Peppers Tanning.
Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find all the cleanest salons in the D with spotless sanitized rooms and trained and certified tanning professionals. Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals. They'll beat all competitors by $5. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. Hottest bulbs, hottest deals, darkest tans. Your vitamin D headquarters, 27 locations and more on the way.
Chili Peppers Tan, woo!
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Seafood Fest is back at Big Boy. Catch it while you can. Get it? Catch it? The pun there. Some favorites during Lent, like shrimp Alfredo, shrimp stir fry, and new fish sandwich. Get to your local Big Boy today. Don't forget the all-you-can-eat fish fry buffet on Friday nights at Big Boy.
Tap into fish and chips.
All right. All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com. Top of the hour, 9 a.m. on a beautiful Tuesday morning. Weather's getting a little better, a little warmer.
You excited for another snowstorm on Friday? That's what I'm hearing.
Is there another one?
Yeah, I'm hearing there's another winter storm on Friday, so that's exciting.
That's befitting of your last day.
So, I mean,
maybe the company shuts down on Friday.
Yeah, it's about to be March, and we're going to have another winter storm in Michigan. It is what it is.
Yeah.
This is part of the, it's what you signed up for.
All right, boys, let's get to Anthony Richardson. Honest to God, I didn't even want to do a player spotlight on him because I just don't like him. But I have to be fair. I have to be objective. So we're going to break him down. Here's my player spotlight today. Anthony Richardson.
AR-15.
I can't say that anymore, by the way. You'll get canceled. Careful.
Oh, all right.
Don't say that shit. Anthony Richardson. Okay, look. I I can point out the 53% completion percentage. I can point out that he threw 17 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. I can point out that he was inaccurate as hell. I can point out that he's got a cannon of an arm. But when we talk about quarterbacks, statistics, intangibles, arm strength, honestly, all don't fucking care. All don't matter. It just doesn't. So what does he do well? Let's start there. Let's start with the positives. Well, he's got a cannon of an arm. He is an absolute athlete.
Yeah.
He is built like you could say a tight end even. 6'4", 232 pounds.
Got a little Cam Newton in him, just in terms of height and weight.
A lot of positives.
Yeah.
All right, what's the downside? Right? Inaccurate. Very inaccurate. But where does that stem from? See, he's not an inaccurate thrower. He's just not a groomed quarterback. And again, I'll only speak from my experience and also my perspective. If you want to be an accurate quarterback, if I were to teach somebody today how to be an accurate quarterback, I don't start here, and I don't start with the hands or the arm. You start with the feet. And his feet are all over the place. He's got happy feet. He's got penguin feet. He is exactly what you call a project in the NFL. Your footwork as a quarterback is what saves you in the NFL. It's what makes you elite. Nobody talks about it. We take it for granted. We take for granted all these elite quarterbacks in the NFL right now that just drop back to pass, 3-step, 5, 7-step drop, no problem. Step in and out, side to side in the pocket, no problem. You even look at Bryce Young, by the way. You want to give a knock on Bryce Young? Go look at his feet. There are a lot of touchdowns and a lot of passes he threw this year. Stepping into the pocket, ready to take a sack, bounced off a lineman.
Yeah.
And because he's an athletic, specimen,
Off
he
script
was able to make a playoff script. That's not ideal, though. That's not what I want. That's Anthony Richardson as well. Happy feet scares the living hell out of me, but does it scare me away from 6'4", cannon arm, athletic? That checks boxes, guys, that NFL teams want. Whether I want it or not is not important. What's important is he will be a first-round pick, likely. If I'm the GM of 32 teams, he's not a first-round pick, but I'm not. But what he is a physical specimen. He's got elite arm talent, which everybody loves, everybody falls in love with. And the truth is, there is going to be a team, because there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 teams that need a quarterback right now. Somebody's going to sit there and say, you know what? He's not a first-round talent coming out right now, but why would we draft him in the first round? See, you guys think, a first-round pick, he's going to start. No. We leverage the first round as GMs in the NFL because we want that fifth-year option. And that is the only reason he's going to go in the first round. If it happens between 20 and 28 or 30, 31, somebody moves up, it'll happen because they want the leverage of a fifth-year option so they can sit him the first year, and damn it, if they have to, they will sit him the second year. This is a complete project. I avoid him if I'm the Lions, even if the Lions have one of the better situations in the NFL for a rookie quarterback. To me, I need a guy that can play the quarterback position first and then be an athlete. Not an athlete who then plays the quarterback position. I know you guys think I don't like black quarterbacks. I know this is a common theme here on the show. It's just not true. But the reality is, he checks all the boxes that don't matter to me. I don't need him to have. I don't want my quarterback to have the strongest arm in the game. I don't. I want him to be accurate. I want him to be cool, calm, and collected. I want him to use his feet well. I want him to be very educated. I want him to understand the game of football from a quarterback perspective, because as a quarterback, you are responsible not just for yourself. You're responsible for the other 10 individuals on the field. And not only the other 10 individuals on the field, you are responsible to diagnose the other 11 on the opposite side. Quarterback's the hardest position to play. I'm not going to sit here and say Anthony Richardson won't work in the NFL. I'm not going to do that. I'm not. What I am going to do is say, for the Detroit Lions, I pass. But to understand what he does well, look, he checks off boxes teams fall in love with. Arm strength, size, mobility, athletic. Teams love that. And teams do believe at times, hey, we can bring him in here and teach him the feet, teach him the footwork, teach him the game. Easier said than done, but teams can really talk themselves into doing that.
Yeah.
That's what the Bills did. Josh Allen, look, coming out, he was awful. No footwork. He struggles with it today, by the way.
He still does, yeah.
And it's why he turns the ball over so much. So, look, for me, Anthony Richardson, intriguing prospect. I'm avoiding him if I'm Detroit. If I'm realistic, he does get a first-round grade only because teams want that fifth-year option on their quarterback, especially a quarterback like Anthony Richardson, who you are probably going to sit the first year. He's not ready to come in day one and play in the NFL. Jeff, thoughts?
I agree with a lot of what you said. There's a lot to like about Anthony Richardson. I just think watching him at Florida this year, the lows scare me. And I think that's really the answer. And that's why sitting him is the obvious route to go. He's not ready to play right now. Had like a 50% completion percentage at Florida this year. It's not good. You're typically looking at guys like Josh Allen. He had a 50-something completion percentage, I want to say. You're looking at guys that are 60 and above. That's typically what you're looking for in quarterbacks coming out of college. But again, there's no reason why a team won't reach for him. I mean, he's got all the upside. You look at his arm, his athletic ability. Again, I would say most, if not all, teams feel like they can fix any issue with quarterbacks. Like, that's a lot of it. Well, Anthony Richardson, if he comes into our program, we could fix these things. The question I have about Anthony Richardson is, will the highs, if he gets to what we think he is, or what many people think he is, will the highs outweigh the lows, right? Like you've seen games. There's games where he was 12 of 35, in terms of attempts and completions. Like, it was bad. You've seen a lot of lows out of Anthony Richardson. So that would be the question I ask: is if he hits that peak, is he one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL? And that's a question that a lot of teams are going to have to ask, but there's no doubt in my mind he's going to be a first-round pick. Just looking at the quarterback field this year, I mean, you're seeing him projected higher than some other guys, even if you think they're better.
Two comments I have to get to. We'll start with Keaton Ruttinger. If you were forced to draft Richardson or Malik Willis in the first round and you can't pass or pick anybody else, who are you taking, Adam? Honest to God? Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, I would take Richardson.
Like I said,
bigger,
Anthony Richardson checks off way more boxes than you could ever dream of Malik Willis could. All right? That's number one.
Absolutely.
Number two, I'm not saying he's a shit on or that he won't work. What I'm telling you is not my type. Just not my type. Now, again, can you teach accuracy? Well, in theory you could, but I've watched the Bills fail to do it with Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not ideal. Now, Josh Allen is a physical specimen. He's unbelievable. Cannon arm. He's gotten much better. But even he can't be Superman. And I don't want my quarterback to be Superman. I want my quarterback to be cool, calm, and collected. Who, when the game is here, he's here. And when the game is here, he's here. That's what I want.
Yeah.
That's my guy. Having said that, the second question. Cam Newton had a below 60% completion percentage. Oh wait, that was your point.
Well, those are the two guys.
Can we not
Josh,
with Cam Newton?
Cam Newton
was the single greatest college football player ever for a single season when he got drafted. He had the single greatest season by a college football player probably in all of college football history. He took Auburn. He didn't just take Auburn. He carried Auburn to a national title.
Yeah.
Went to Florida, went to, I think, JUCO or I think he went to JUCO. And then he went to Auburn, and the rest is history.
I'm pretty sure he won at JUCO, too.
I don't want to hear it. He did, by the way.
He did. Won anywhere he went.
Cam Newton, totally different story. Because he came out and threw for 4,000 yards year one. Anthony Richardson's not ready to come out year one and do any of that. That's the problem.
Right.
And you know what's the problem with Cam Newton? Cam Newton came out, was like this, and once he got to the Super Bowl and had that MVP season with the top two defense, all the interceptions, all the completion percentage
he had some
issues,
injuries,
all the footwork, all the liability with how much he runs, it all just unraveled. Cam Newton for a 3-4 year stretch was a very, very good quarterback. I would even say excellent.
Yeah, MVP.
He was an MVP. Longevity issues, footwork issues, turnover prone. What do you know? It always comes back to haunt you. I want my quarterback's fundamentals to always check the boxes first before we check off the arm talent and all the sexiness. It's my preference. It seems to work more often than not. My preference does, at least in the NFL, more than this arm talent stuff, because I hear this every year and it never works. And Zach Wilson had amazing arm talent.
Remember the throw he made in
Remember the throw he made? Running to his left, threw to his right. It was unbelievable. Oh my God, Aaron Rodgers off platform. That was the key word that year.
Right.
What about Trey Lance or Jordan Love? Arm talent, special. Well, do they play quarterback? Oh. Even Mac Jones worked out more than all of them. Justin Fields, off platform, cannon arm, athlete. Can he drop back to pass and stay in the pocket? Oh, struggles with that. Look, I'm not saying these quarterbacks won't work in the NFL. Of course they'll work. Justin Fields works to an extent. It's not ideal, but it works.
It needs more talent around.
Dak Prescott works.
Yep.
Josh Allen's the exception. He breaks the rule. Cam Newton broke the rule. Jalen Hurts now developed into his best season as a pocket passer this year. Was unbelievable. MVP type season. I'm not writing them off. What I'm telling you is, when you spend a first round pick on a quarterback, if it's going to be a project, you got a lot of balls.
Yeah.
Because most teams don't draft a quarterback at 6 and sit him, let alone in the top 10, top 12. It rarely ever happens. I want to say in my lifetime, I only recall Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, and that's it. Those were the only two that sat day one in year one and came back the following year, took over the job, even though it took Aaron a little longer because of Favre. But the point was, they sat and then they became greats. Lamar sat his rookie year, it was meh. Josh Allen sat his rookie year, but he came in midway through, so I don't really count that as sitting the whole first year.
And by the way, random thought.
Go for it.
If I'm the Ravens and you make a trade with Atlanta and you get their first round pick and you're picking at, what do they pick, 8 or 9? I'd have to double check.
Atlanta picks 8, not 9.
Yeah,
Carolina's
if you're
9.
picking 8, Anthony Richardson, I mean, the team's essentially already built around Lamar Jackson. Imagine, for Richardson, too, he'd have to sit. We acknowledge that. But I think it'd be a great situation there in Baltimore as well. So we'll see. Richardson will be a top 10 pick, I believe.
That's a reach for me. But do you remember this?
He will.
I remember you guys having Scott Bischoff on here saying how great Malik Willis was, and you agreeing with everything he said. Remember that? Remember when we said Malik Willis should go number 2 overall? It's my favorite time of the year.
Yeah, okay. I'd go back and watch those shows.
Buddy.
When Scott was telling us about Malik, we were listening. Scott, I mean, we're not going to sit there
and I bashed him for it.
Yeah,
and I said, Scott, are you serious right now? He's like, Adam, you got to trust me. He's got the arm. Again, the same shit every year. He's got the arm talent. Adam, you can't teach arm talent. Adam, the athleticism. The guy could barely hand the ball off in the fucking NFL with the Titans. He got benched for Joshua Dobbs. You call me crazy.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm racist. Fuck yourselves, all of you.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Well, not to throw Scott under the bus here, but it just...
No, Scott is not my problem.
No, but what we disagreed with, too, is he said the argument to take a quarterback is...
It's true, though.
But he said...
It's the most valuable position.
Well... He said that there's not a prospect that'll blow you away to where, like, you could get away with taking Malik Willis. We took Aiden.
Well, no, Aiden blew me away.
Pretty damn good.
Sauce Gardner blew the Jets away.
Yeah, those talent.
Garrett Wilson blew the Jets away.
Yeah, that's
Chris Olave blew the Saints away. No. I think there are prospects.
Like the draft wasn't that deep. I mean,
no, that was off. And again, love Scott.
Yeah, he's great.
I can do this every year with all of you. Every year. For as long as the show is live, ever. We'll do this every year. You're going to come up to me, arm talent. It's the same shit every year. And you know why Malik Willis and everybody who wanted him graded him in the first round? I already brought this up earlier, you dickheads. Because you get the 5th-year option on the quarterback, and that's what you want.
Absolutely.
It's the only reason, and it's the most important position in football. It is the most important position in football. You look at the defensive side of the ball for all the important stuff that has to happen on the defensive side of the ball for your team to have success. Who's winning without a quarterback in the NFL right now? I'll wait. Nobody. Who's competing at the top level? Nobody. That's why everybody is willing to reach and lose their jobs to try and get their hands on a quarterback, because it alters your franchise's direction completely. Having said that, we'll take a break. When we get back, Fish's top 10 favorite moments here at Woodward Sports. I actually can and can't wait for this. I'm not sure how I feel about this yet. We'll see how it goes. That's coming up next. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at Swiss Insurance.
Be sure to check with Swiss Insurance this week for your commercial insurance review. Swiss can help make sure you have the proper coverage. Swiss Insurance, give them a shot. You won't be disappointed. Contact them, Mark at SwissINS.com for more information.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
All right, we're back live here on the Morning Woodward Show. woodwardsports.com as always. Adam Beydoun, Jeff Iafrate. All right, Fish's last week, obviously. We're sad. As much as I give him shit, I love the guy.
Very sad. Who's going to get waters for everybody? I mean,
nobody. Thankfully, nobody. I don't want anybody getting water. If you want water, get it before the damn show. Having said that, Fish?
Yeah?
I want you to walk our audience through your favorite moments here at Woodward Sports. I put 10 down.
Okay.
It's up to you if you have 10. You don't have to have 10, but I figured this would be about you and your time here. Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the most memorable one was the first day, December 7th, 2020, when we started in the Lady Jane's studio and I was running VMix. That was an interesting time.
That was your first day. I remember interviewing you. That was awkward.
Did he blow you away in the interview?
Fish did not blow me away in the interview, but
not a shot.
But no. Seriously, he did not crush his interview.
That's why I'm leaving.
Fish didn't crush his interview. All right, but the reason he got the job, it wasn't even a job. It started off as an internship, by the way. The reason he got the internship was, I remember once upon a time I was his age, and I was 18, 19.
Yeah.
And it was impossible to get internships, no matter how qualified or how smart you were. So I always told myself if one day I was ever in a leadership position, I would never say no to anybody. And Fish walked in. He was the first one that applied, by the way. It's like, yeah, come on in. And he ended up being one of our best
shout out to
decisions.
Specs Howard. Specs Howard Unite, Jeff. You know.
Oh, I know about it. I know about it, Fish.
Best school in the land. Now rest in peace. Now they're part of Lawrence Tech now.
Yep.
They are.
Hope all those kids strive up at Lawrence Tech.
So what was the date you started?
December 7th, 2020.
Okay, so I started that May. So I was a couple months after you.
Well, there we go.
Gosh, Fish, you've been here for over 3 years.
Just short of 3.
No. Oh, yeah, you're right. About two and a quarter?
Yeah.
2.5 almost?
Yeah.
Wow.
Time flies.
All right, what else, buddy?
Probably May 26th when I got the check. That's probably another memorable moment that
When you
comes
got
to
the
my
what?
mind. The check.
The big check.
Oh, the big check. That's right.
Yeah, the big check that you guys wanted me to go to the bank and cash it. Probably wouldn't fit through the door.
You guys want to laugh about that story, by the way? So we gave Fish a big check, obviously, because we officially had hired him, gave him like a bonus for all the time he had committed, whatever, and he didn't cash the check for like 3 months.
Yeah, it was like,
and we had to like constantly, I swear to God, Westfall, I swear to God, we had to constantly nag him to cash the check. Yes, he wouldn't do it.
Fish.
There was like a $10,000 check just sitting there.
Was it that much?
And we're looking at our account like, is this kid gonna cash it or what? Like, what is he doing? So every week we'd have to follow up with Fish. Dude, cash the check.
Was it every week?
It was about every week. Yeah. It got really frustrating at one point.
Why?
I just don't spend money like that.
It's not, you don't have to spend the
Well, I
money.
know.
You put the money, so the money's in your account.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware.
Because I'm aware.
Yeah.
No, I get it. I was there actually. We have the team photo.
Team photo.
You holding the
Yep.
check? Yeah, it was for your birthday, right?
No.
No, that was just.
My birthday was at that Mediterranean place
Yep,
where I almost burned
what else?
my hand.
What else you got, buddy?
Oh, probably when Terry Foster first appeared on the show. With the old morning Woodward show crew.
Yeah.
Some good moments there.
Yeah, this is about you. Don't look at me. You just tell me your favorite moments, buddy.
No, I'm telling you the moments. When you first started, that's the moment when you first started. When I first started. Yeah, doing your bets on the show.
Oh my goodness,
and
you
then
guys remember that?
And then you transitioned
I don't know how many of
into
you
doing
were
a
around,
show.
but I got my intro here to being a talent.
I guess
by
the
doing
moment,
bets at 8:50 in the
yeah,
morning.
I guess the moment would be seeing you grow from like the shy human being doing bets to striving and now calling people mother effers now.
Yeah,
you know what's funny too? When I was interning on the old morning show with Stick, Corey and Joey, I remember used to come into your bet segments. You just come in.
Dude, I used to rip them apart.
Yeah,
it got so toxic. They kicked me off.
Yeah,
as I was so toxic, I would just show up. Yeah. Russell Westbrook trash talking.
Oh yeah.
I remember.
That was your 10 minutes of fame.
Oh, dude,
so
I remember the Steelers were
people.
The Steelers were 11-0.
Yeah.
And I'd come on the show. And they were doing their power rankings, and they asked me, like, who are your top 10 teams in the NFL? And I had the Steelers at like 8, and Stick lost his shit. He's like, they're undefeated. What do you mean they're 8?
Frauds.
They ended up losing 5 of the last 6 games, by the way.
They got blown out by the Browns.
And the Browns in the playoffs. Yep.
That was Baker, by the way.
Yeah, that was one of my home runs.
Yeah.
What else, Fish?
Trying to think of other stuff that's happened. Oh, I mean,
when you how many coworkers have you hooked up with in the back? I mean, that's an honest question everybody wants to know.
0, not that I know of.
Well,
not that he knows of. See, he got blackout drunk.
Yeah. Well, we did go out one time, Fish. You went out with me.
We did?
We did.
Up in Utica.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Well,
thanks for the invite.
I mean,
that's nice.
Me and Fish, it was fun.
I mean, if I'm honest, I kind of invited myself.
No,
so,
I wanted you to come.
Well,
what? No, you didn't invite yourself. I invited you. I texted you. I was like, "What are you up to?" I'm at this place. You're like, "All right,
no,
I'll be
you
there."
texted me a drumstick, and then I said, "Thanks for the invite." It's like my normal joking way, and then so kind of, I guess so. I don't know. I would consider myself. I invited myself.
All right.
But Fish didn't touch any alcohol though.
No.
What else are what other favorite moments you had here, buddy?
I guess you not knowing
favorite
city
people,
names.
Anything.
You not knowing city names is a pretty funny moment.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear.
Geography.
So about like the fun you have on the show. Oh, no comments on that? All right, cool.
No, you're right.
Well, I was expecting him to comment on it. He just looked at me.
Fish, what about your thrusting?
That's
not a memory?
Thrusting's got to be top 10. It has to be.
I mean...
Has to be.
The thrusting has to be up there.
Even Westfall agrees. Why?
Because it has to be.
It has to be, Fish. Come on, talk.
I mean...
Are you wanting me to thrust now?
Well, you asked. We didn't ask. You can do it if you want.
What other moments did you like, buddy, before I cut you off? Come on. Give me something.
Well, I mean, I guess just being a part of the shows.
Well, I
mean,
we love
I don't really have much else to say other than like just moments of all the people having fun, talking sports, football, basketball, baseball. You guys were talking the other stuff, but that's the main sports. Hockey. Oh, I guess like the whole joke with the final word. I guess that's
the
cool
final
moment.
word joke.
Yeah,
we'll keep that a secret.
Well,
poor guys.
But Big D Energy brings it up, so.
Okay, then if it's not public news, for all of you that don't tune into Big D Energy, the final word is considered the Romani and Edwards show, and basically no decisions are allowed to be made without approval of the 2 o'clock show. It's just a ongoing joke within the company. So if you ever want to trigger anybody at 2 o'clock from 2 to 4, just type in the final word in the chat. It'll be fucking hilarious. All right, what else we got, Fish? Any other moments you like? Any other? It doesn't even have to be moments. People you liked working with? Anybody you want to shout out?
I mean, I guess the people I'm with now: Adam, Jeff, Westfall, Matt, the audience, lovely people.
Fuck Matt. You've known Matt for like 3 months.
Fish, you're gonna miss. You're gonna miss all the mornings that me and you were chilling. You gotta let me in the door at like 7:20. And I pound on the window to let me in every morning.
What if I unlock it? Maybe I can use my mobile device to unlock the door.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Fair enough.
See, a lot of times me and Fish will get here early, and now it's going to be weird because I don't know unless JB does it, but it's like our time, Fish. We chop it up. We talk sports.
I'm
going to miss the cricket updates.
Yeah,
I think that's what I'm going to miss the most. I'm going to miss the most random interruptions where I'm trying to make a point on the show. Oh, breaking news! The cricket score is updated between England and India. I'm going to miss that.
Maybe I'll
global-
make sure JB's tapped into there. Whoever's in the
JB,
booth.
no, JB will not. No, there is no you, buddy. There's only one fish.
Yeah, your knowledge of global
I mean,
sports
other
is
people
unmatched.
can be me. It's
Who am I
not.
going to talk shit to about soccer? In the back office.
There's soccer people here.
There's no soccer people here. None.
Okay.
Absolutely none. Any other moments before we move on? Anybody you want to shout out?
I mean, just all the lovely people here.
God, Fish is so politically
There's no-
correct.
well-
I know.
I can't get anything out of him.
No,
I've
you
tried.
He's the mayor.
Any other moments?
I don't want to get canceled.
He is a
You're not going to get
politician.
canceled,
So-
buddy. You know some of the shit I've said here?
He's a
I've called
politician.
fat women hippos.
Okay, we don't need to revisit.
Buddy,
You have.
nobody's getting canceled. Nobody.
You've
They
called
can
them-
suck my balls.
Wow.
Before you get canceled, all right? I'll make sure they choke on my balls before you get canceled. You understand?
Ooh, oh, gee. Well,
Anyways,
That went somewhere. I
Any
don't know
other
where it
moments?
went. Nothing I can think of now.
all right, fair enough. We'll move on.
it was a good,
I'll probably think of some for Friday.
good list of moments.
Whatever you'd like. Be ready for Friday, buddy.
I will.
We'll take a break. When we get back, Carson Wentz released. What does it mean for the Lions? Washington's going to be in the market for a quarterback. Whether or not they're going to go shell out money for a Derek Carr or a Jimmy Garoppolo or make a trade or move up in the draft. What does that mean for the Lions? And if you are the Lions and you're in control, do you try to trade back with Washington?
Yeah.
We'll have that conversation next. But before we go, I got to tell you about my good friends over at Planet Fitness. Sign up today. Get to any Planet Fitness near you locally. Sign up today by going in person or at planetfitness.com. It's only $10 a month. Start your fitness journey today.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Get a shot up. This is for the win.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com. As always, hypothetical here. Washington releases Carson Wentz. Would you, all of you at home, answer in the chat, would you trade back to 16? Now, for the sake of argument, I went ahead and did it, just to give you some insight onto what would happen according to PFF's mock draft simulator. How accurate it is, who goes, who doesn't, da-da-da-da. I don't care about that right now. What I care about is, would you be willing to move off 10 spots? Because if you do, well, in this scenario, you would get pick 16, you would get their second round pick at 47, you would get a future one and a future two for number 6 overall this year, pick 55 this year, and your third round pick this year. So you give up your 1, 2, and 3 for 2 future ones, a 1 and a future 1, a 2 and a future 2. To me, it's not bad, but you know, I have the Adham in me. I don't want to trade back 10 spots unless I'm getting multiple ones. I'm stubborn about that stuff. I'm not missing an opportunity to take one of the 5, 6, 7 best players in the draft for future picks. It doesn't add up for me, but let's say they did it, okay? Well, in this scenario, Jeff, Lucas Van Ness, Kalijah Cansey, and Brian Branch are on the board at 16. Let's say I take Cansey. Brian Branch is available, and so is Van Ness.
You can end up with what we talked about earlier, Cansey and Brian Branch.
And you have pick
get the
47,
draft
48.
Yeah.
So now you go to pick 47. Let's see who shows up on the board. You can get Will McDonald, an edge rusher, and you can get Deion Henley, your linebacker. So there you go. You've taken 4 positions of need, all within the first 2 rounds. But now you don't have a pick until 154. To me, the only way I do that trade is if I end up with that board, but that's so unrealistic because I know Cansey's going top 12. Branch probably going top 14. That's a tough sell. It's a tough sell for me. For Detroit to trade back with Washington, they would have to give me 2 future ones, 16 and a second round pick. And I would be willing to move off pick 55, let's say, in theory. For those 3 picks. That's what I would need. I don't think that's realistic. I don't think they would pay that much. But I'm not interested in trading back, Jeff. I'm just not. That is, I lose complete control of my draft board. I'm not a fan of it. I stay put at 6.
Yeah, it depends on what you're getting the compensation, because you look at the draft and how it's turning up. If the Lions know they're not going to go quarterback, if you're trading back to 16, the question I guess Brad would have to ask himself is, if you're getting assets, which is always a plus, would you be willing to not have the first pick of whoever you want in terms of the corners? Like, if you stay at 6, you're going to be able to choose. You like Gonzalez, you like Witherspoon, any of these guys, Brian Branch. Or if you trade back to 16, you're essentially saying, I will take who's there, right? If Brian Branch is there, I'll take him. If Joey Porter's there, I'll take him. If Brad likes a couple corners in this draft, willing to go to 16, I think it makes sense. I do. But you also have to take into consideration that you're assuming nobody falls to 6. Like, you're talking about, Will Anderson.
Well, in this draft, Will Levis and C.J. Stroud again fell, which I don't think is realistic. I think they all go top 5.
But if both those guys go top 5, someone's got to slide down. So it's tough because we like Kancey. You love him. You brought him up. You've got my attention. But that's gonna have to be Brad's question. Do I like Kancey enough to pass on Tyree Wilson or potentially? I'm not saying this will happen. A Will Anderson if he's there. So I don't know. It depends on the compensation, I guess, for me, because you're not. The problem I see too is if you're at 6, you get your choice. Like that's the most important part of this. You get your choice. Like you get to choose what corner you like. If you go to 16, you got to take who's there and who's available. So I would probably lean just staying put at 6 because I think there's a lot of opportunity for players that might fall that were rated top 5 players. But if Washington's willing to give up a farm, then obviously I'm going to listen. A future first-round pick, I mean, you got to at least consider that. I don't think the Commanders will be a dynasty. I mean, I could see that team. They franchise tag De'Aaron Payne. Who knows what the Commanders' future holds? I think that first-round pick would be valuable, but we'll see.
What if I told you, let's play, how do I want to put this to you? Let's play GM for every team, okay?
Okay.
We're going to assume the Colts trade up, okay? And they give up a future 1, okay? They give up a future 1 and a future 4 with the Chicago Bears, okay? Indianapolis trades up and they draft Will Levis, okay? We're going to assume Will Levis goes number 1 overall. Number 2 overall, we're going to go Bryce Young to the Houston Texans, okay? Now, sitting at 3, 4, and 5 are the Arizona Cardinals, the Chicago Bears, both of which currently will not draft a quarterback, along with Seattle, who probably won't draft a quarterback either. So what happens here? In theory, I need 2 of these teams to draft a quarterback. If I want Jalen Carter or Will Anderson guaranteed to be on the board. Okay? Well, who would trade up with Arizona? Well, Atlanta makes sense, because if I'm Atlanta, or even if I'm Vegas, I need a quarterback in Las Vegas, and I know I'm not spending the money on one, and I know I have Devontae Adams, so if I want to trade up to pick number 3, maybe I offer a future 1 and a 3rd-round pick or a 4th-round pick. So I do that. Let's, again, hypothetical. How do these players fall? Well, okay. Arizona moves back to 7. Vegas trades up, and they draft, let's say, C.J. Stroud. Interesting. Okay, Chicago. Now, if I'm Chicago, Jalen Carter, Will Anderson. For this example, we'll do Jalen Carter. Okay? Now, you're Seattle. Tyree Wilson, Will Anderson, Devon Witherspoon, top 3 players on the board. How in the hell is Detroit supposed to end up with Will Anderson or Jalen Carter? I just did a scenario where 3 teams moved to get a quarterback. I don't see anybody trading into the top 5 for Anthony Richardson, if you ask me. So Seattle probably end up with Will Anderson. And then if you're Detroit, all 3 quarterbacks got traded. You can't trade back, and you're stuck making a decision. Now, do they have Anthony Richardson rated as the 10th best player? According to PFF? Sure. What does that mean? Not much to me right now. I would dream of a scenario that Will Anderson was available for the Lions. Be amazing. Tyree Wilson probably is going to be available. At least in this scenario. So not to get anybody's hopes up, not to say that it's impossible, but I just traded up on behalf of 2 teams, and it didn't matter. They're still not going to be available. How do you justify, as the Bears or the Seahawks GM, how do you justify passing on Will Anderson, Jalen Carter? Just don't see it happen.
No way.
There's no way. And if they did, I would be on my knees for them tomorrow. They don't even have to pay me. I would do 2 hands.
It's nice of you.
2 hands.
Okay, why the 2 hands? Jesus. You didn't have to specify.
My point is, I would love for that to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen.
No.
And when I think about trading back with Washington, I'm sorry, you're not enticing me with a future 1. Even 2. I would have to consider 2 future ones. I would. I'd be naive not to. But I am passing up on Tyree Wilson, Kalijah Cansey, Devon Witherspoon, Christian Gonzalez, Anthony Richardson for whichever one of you love him. All that goes out the window the moment you trade back to 16. I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think I trade back with Washington. Jeff, what do you think?
No, I agree. And again, that's the question. I mean, you're looking at some of these mock drafts and where guys are projected to go. These corners, all the corners are pretty much gone at 16. Joey Porter, Devon Witherspoon, Gonzalez, all these guys in most mock drafts are gone by 16 to 18. So if you're trading back, you're missing out on one of the top 3 corners projected in this draft. So that's the question. And on top of that, you talk about the defensive linemen that could potentially fall. We look at the quarterbacks, and right now, even projected, you only see typically Bryce, Will Levis, C.J. Stroud. I think there's more of a chance Anthony Richardson could rise too. So if 3 or 4 quarterbacks get taken in the top 10, like you may have a Will Anderson, or I don't think Jalen Carter will, but let's just say hypothetically, Jalen Carter could fall. Even Tyree Wilson to an extent, which he's a freak athlete as it is, and with his wingspan. So with Brad, not that you can question his ability to find talent. Even if he traded back to 16, I think he would still find a viable starter. He'd still find a good player. But it's much easier when you have your choice. Like last year, if Aiden fell right in your lap, you had your choice. You didn't have to trade back and take who was there. You have an opportunity to take who falls. And the Lions are in a good spot at 6. They really are. Because there's teams behind them that need a quarterback, and there's teams in front of them that need a quarterback. And there's a lot of defensive talent at the top of this draft. So I'm with you. I don't think they will, but it's something that I think teams will be calling Brad and asking.
The Rams just wouldn't have beaten the Raiders.
Oh, yeah. We'd be talking.
You would have guaranteed Will Anderson or Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
Think about that. That is the luck / unfortunate / amazing part of the NFL. You are Sean McVay fucking you away from having one of those 2 players. But regardless, look, the draft's going to play out the way it does. You have arguably one of the 6-7 most competent GMs in all of the NFL right now. There's a lot to be excited about, as you should be. I'm very excited. I'm very calm ahead of this draft. Excited to see how the board shapes up. Excited for the NFL Combine. Excited to watch a lot of players perform, underperform, see how the board shifts. Give our mock drafts again next Monday.
Yeah.
It's a great time of the year. So sit back, enjoy, go through some hypotheticals, be my guest. But I think we all agree with Washington. You would have to pay a steep price to convince me to trade back 10 spots. It would be 2 first-rounders, Deron Payne, and I would maybe consider it. It would be 16, a future 1, and Chase Young for me to consider it. I'm being dead-ass serious.
Yeah, 10 spots.
That's my asking price. I'm not saying I would get it.
Yeah, you set the bar high.
But you're asking me to trade 10 spots in a spot where, in this theory, 2 quarterbacks are available, okay? All the edge rushers are available outside of Will Anderson. Kalijah Cansey and all the corners are available.
Mm-hmm.
You're asking me to trade back 10 spots and none of them will be available on the turn? Yeah, fuck you. Give me everything.
Didn't the 49ers trade up like 10 spots? They gave up like 3 first-round picks.
Yes, they did.
That's...
They did.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot.
Hit me up. Chase Young, 2 first-round picks, I would consider it. I wouldn't even say yes on the spot. I would just consider it. Let's take a break. When we get back, I want to continue the conversation. Go offsite. James Wiseman, by the way, had a night last night. Good for him. The Pistons played a bunch of nobodies, and they got beat by a bunch of nobodies. So it was great to see. It's always great to watch Pistons basketball. I didn't, but Jeff did. So here we are. We'll be back, but before we go, I got to tell you about my good friends over at Cousins Maine Lobster. What are you waiting for? Go to cousinsmainelobster.com. Find out where the food trucks are. Stop wasting my time and your time. There's not a better option, guys. You want to treat yourself to a good lunch? Lobster tacos, clam chowder soup in this weather. 10 out of 10 hits the spot. It's delicious as hell. Don't miss out on it. cousinsmainlobster.com. Check them out. Let them know Woodward Sports sent you.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry. Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
You're about to be shell-shocked. The catch of the day is in. Big Boy Seafood Fest is officially back. Join us for some of your favorites like our popcorn shrimp and pike perch platters and our classic fish and chips. This year, we've reeled in some fresh catches like our shrimp Alfredo, shrimp stir-fry, and our fish sandwich. And especially, don't forget about our all-you-can-eat Friday night fish fry buffet. Every day is a fish fry at Big Boy.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the three biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show live. WoodwardSports.com. Adham, Beydoun, Jeff, Iafrate. Jeff, what's up, buddy? How's life treating you? Better than we treat fish?
Wow. No, never. No, I'm doing pretty good.
Jeff, did you tap into the cruise?
I did not. I was tapping into the.
Should have tapped into the cruise. They're actually playing pretty well.
I was tapping into their big brother, which had no of their starting five available, and they had to go out there with Wiseman. Killian Hayes was there, but besides that,
that's why
Killian Hayes is the best player in the NBA.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, it was.
I'm sorry.
It was a tough one. It was nice to see Wiseman, though. I mean, to have 23 and 7, 9 for 11 from the field. Him and Bagley kind of play together. Diallo played well. I mean, it was the perfect scenario. You kind of got the guys you wanted to play well, and you lost. Like at this point, the Hornets they're in the race for that number 1 pick as well. They're 5 wins above the Pistons. This puts them even higher now. So I don't have a problem with it. I think we all understand the assignment at this point in the season. You just lose. You want to be more competitive, obviously, but you don't think, Jalen Ivey, personal reasons.
Where are the Pistons projected right now? Third in the lottery?
Third.
I think third, right?
I'll tell you right now. Yeah, they're third.
Yep.
They have a 52.1% for a top 4 pick, 14%
for
tied with San Antonio and Houston.
Well, that's
for that
pending they stay in third the rest of the way, right?
Yeah, it's you have Houston with 13 wins, San Antonio with 14, Detroit with 15.
I may make a phone call and give a speech to Dwayne Casey. I might call him up and apologize and say, hey, remember all those things I said about you? I didn't mean them. Please continue to play Corey Joseph. Please lose.
Yeah, please.
Go 15 and 67, and let's call it a season.
Even
Greg win another game.
Even Greg Popovich, the Spurs they've lost 16 in a row.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Pop has stuck around, by the way.
Yeah, give him a lot of credit for that disaster.
For him to stick through the rebuild, knowing they haven't had a chance in 2, 3, 4 years.
No.
Like, it takes guts, man. Tim Duncan, though, I can't wait to see him take over eventually.
Yeah.
Or at least that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
you know who I want to see get a job, by the way?
Who?
Tell me if I'm off here. I want to see Becky Hammond take a job in the NBA.
It's it's sad too because she went to the WNBA and won a championship the first year she was
with Vegas, didn't she?
Yeah, basically just double middle fingers to everybody.
Well,
she can
easier
coach.
said than done in the WNBA than the NBA, depending on the team you go to.
But she can coach.
She can coach ball. I would love to see her be the first woman head coach in the NBA. That would be phenomenal. I'm rooting for her to get a job.
And another thing too, watching the Wings last night. Did you tune into that game at all?
Who?
Did you catch the Wings last night?
It was an ass. It was unlucky. I mean, look, you caught an Ottawa team that just wouldn't miss the net. Number one, they just found all the holes. Number two, the refs didn't help at all.
Yeah, you didn't have Husso in net.
Goaltending was average.
Yeah.
It wasn't awful. It wasn't good. It was just average, maybe slightly below average. Look, I'm not losing sleep over a 6-2 loss.
No.
I think that's 2 straight losses for the Red Wings.
Yeah.
Not the end of the world.
But
They're going to
were
win.
hot,
They're going to
though.
lose games.
Yeah.
They were hot. They're fine.
They got
fine.
another one tonight.
They got the
same
same
place.
team tonight. If they bounce back and win, it'll be like nothing ever happened. And then they host the Kraken, onto the Islanders, onto the Flyers, and then they have this 5-6 game stretch. It gets really difficult. You got the Blackhawks, sure, but then it's the Bruins twice, the Predators, the Avalanche, and then the Panthers, and then the Blues back to back.
And a lot of those teams are right around the Red Wings. I mean, you talk about playoff contention. They're 3 points away from the Pittsburgh for being in that second spot, that wild card spot. So they're holding on. They're absolutely holding on.
100%. All right, look, we'll take a quick moment to acknowledge Fish. I'm going to bring it up as often as I can this week.
Okay.
This is Fish's last week with us. You bastard. I'm going to miss you. Would you rather have, Adam, Fish stab you in the eye with an ice pick or watch this Pistons team?
Jesus.
I would rather just be stabbed by an ice pick by Fish.
Really?
No problem. Nope. Both eyes. Gouge me, for all I care.
So you wouldn't watch the Pistons?
No. Waste of time. Waste of energy.
Not this season.
Just frustrating to watch. I know they're rebuilding their roster. I know every beat reporter in town loves to say,
patience,
they're
patient.
And
it's true.
It's been, they're rebuilding, and it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. It's been 5 years, buddy.
It has not been 5 years.
It's been 5 years. No. 5 consecutive years of being in the top 6, top 7 of the lottery. It's been 5 years.
Okay.
Troy Weaver's done a good job.
Jeff's
Just give me a second. Let me acknowledge. Troy Weaver's done a very good job overhauling the roster.
Right.
But now they need to take the next step, and I don't think that should take 2, 3, 4 more years. They need to sign some vets, get some shooters, play some defense, bring in a coach that knows what the fuck he's doing, and yes, it would be helpful if they had their star player in Cade Cunningham. Fair? Did I miss anything there?
Well, they haven't been rebuilding for 5 years, but I agree.
They've been losing 50, 60 games for 5 years.
5 years ago, I believe that's when they got Blake, so they were still in that mid-phase.
Balake.
They were in that mid-phase of, like...
Blake Griffin.
They're a playoff team, but they were never going to win anything type of playoff team. And then you finally you traded everybody. What was that? Killian's in his 3rd year, so
yeah, they were 41 and
2
41 that year.
The rebuild really started when you got Cade. I mean, that's when you got your franchise
you botched
player.
the other draft. So
well. Yeah, I mean, Sadiq Bey's gone.
It's the truth.
Yeah,
Sadiq Bey's gone. Isaiah Stewart's a role player, and Killian Hayes is maybe a role player.
But Cade, Ivy, and Duran, they kind of made up for it. Yeah,
you hope so.
And they've shown it so far. So, yeah, this season it's not too exciting. It's not too motivating to tune into the Pistons, but give it some time. I sound like a beat writer, but it's true.
Sick of that.
It really is.
Sick of that. Sick of the excuses. We'll take a break when we get back. Not from you, just so we can clarify. I'm not saying this to you. Other people, and they know who they are. They don't like me very much, and I don't like them, to be honest with you. Having said that, we'll take a break.
Meanie.
When we get back, mailbag time. Get your questions in the chat. Jeff and I will answer all of your questions. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at the Sports Marketing Agency.
The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the S Word, helps fight the stigma about seeking help. If you or someone you know is struggling, head to thesportsma.com for more information.
I love Woodward Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Fulling Warehouse in Hamtramck is the home of the original football bowling game, 2 to play for $12, the unlimited open play, or you can pay $120 for a lane reservation for you and 9 other individuals. $2 Mr. Beer Machine, full bar. Check it all out, fullingwarehouse.com.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show, woodwardsports.com. Adam, Beydoun, Jeff, Iafrate, mailbag time. Let's start. Gucci, could you do a fish player profile before Friday?
We can break them down.
I don't know what
5'7", 103 pounds, coming out of Alabama. That'd be fun.
Funky says mailbag. So when we talk about free agents, are we gonna? Or what? We would like. Wait, what? We would like.
Slow
why
down,
doesn't? And, no, it doesn't really make sense. So when we talk about free agents, we would like. Why doesn't anyone look at a guy like Al Shire from San Francisco, the linebacker? Actually, he wasn't as productive this season, but in years past.
Because I saw over the weekend one of the coaches was holding a mic and he was shaking it all over and looking like, no, hold the mic, and you couldn't just move like that instead of wiggling it around and talking over here.
I'm pretty sure those guys go through media training.
Well, they obviously don't. Not the coach I saw on Sunday.
I don't have an opinion on this, to be honest with you.
Maybe you should teach them, Fish.
Maybe you should teach them.
Well, it's not that hard. Just hold the mic. I mean, you can move it a little, but not wiggle it around like that and this. Like, you can
Brad
just
asks,
turn.
would you rather, would you draft Brandon Miller to the Pistons? This dude seems like a lethal shooter from 3.
He is my favorite prospect. Like, Victor's the
a lot of people were saying draft
I
him.
don't want to sit here. If you're interested in Victor, everyone's breaking Victor down. Brandon Miller, and this is before the allegations, obviously. We'll see how that resides, but with Brandon itself, the prospect, my goodness. I love it. He's the obvious pick to me if you're picking at 3, but we'll see. I know there's character things that people bring up, especially now with all the stuff coming out, but as a prospect, yeah. He's the typical. That's what you want right now. Perfect fit with the Pistons.
All right.
Perfect.
If you know we have money for free agents this year and next year, why not trade up and get a generational talent like Will Anderson and Jalen Carter for this year's draft capital? Well, Jamcat, because I'll be honest with you, if I'm sitting there at 3, 4, 5, or even 2, okay, and you're the Lions, you call me. I'm just being honest. I may not get what I want, but this is what I want. You're going to give me pick 6, pick 18, pick 55, and a future 4. That's what it'll cost you. And, you could say, oh, well, that's worth it. But the only way I ever pull that trigger is if I'm drafting a quarterback.
Yep.
Even if Will Anderson is a premier edge rusher. I drafted one last year. I'm not that desperate. Even if Jalen Carter is a game wrecker. Kalijah Cansey's coming out, probably going to be top 12 pick. I can wait. I have. Think of it as opportunity cost. What does it cost me to take a chance on that kid? To me, if I'm spending that amount of draft capital, it's going on a. It's going on a quarterback.
Jackass mailbag. Do you guys believe that the Big Ten is worth 9 teams in the NCAA tourney?
Hell no.
The Big Ten isn't that good this year, to be honest.
Are we talking college basketball?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're gonna somehow end up getting 8 in or 7.
I
don't know how.
He's checked out.
They should get 3 or 4.
I like this question's interesting too. Jesse Adams, mailbag. Would you guys rather have Damian Lillard's career or Draymond Green's career? I think I'd rather have Green's just because he has the ring. Second question, Jeff. You got John Jones this weekend. Well, to answer the first question,
big fight.
I would do Lillard.
Bro, you get to be one of the 5-6 best point guards ever.
One of the greatest shooters.
Top 3 in terms of shooting at the guard position. You just put up ridiculous numbers. You're a hero in your city.
Every team wants you.
And on top, every team wants you. Oh, and on top of it, you rap on the side and box. Oh, sign me up. You kidding me?
Lillard's
this guy's a walking pimp.
Although you won't have the rings, man, I'll take all that.
I don't want to be Draymond Green holding a weird ass microphone, talking on the volume. I'll pass.
Did we not?
And by the way, I'm going with John Jones this weekend. Go John Jones.
We didn't
he's
acknowledge.
fighting?
Yes.
Yeah, this
he's fighting
weekend.
at heavyweight this weekend.
Yep.
No shit.
First fight at
no
heavyweight.
title, right?
No, title fight.
Title
yeah,
fight.
Ngannou,
How?
they couldn't re-sign him, so it's vacant.
How do you not re-sign Ngannou?
Well, he didn't.
Yeah, he didn't want to
It was
sign.
more on him. They offered him. He's like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, he said
wants to
no.
go box and do other things.
He wants to make Jake Paul money.
Yeah.
Smart man.
Yeah,
Hey,
maybe go to the
did
PFL.
we acknowledge Lillard got 71 a few nights ago? Did that just?
Yeah,
Damian Lillard
he
got
just got
71 a few nights ago.
Yeah,
We
I saw.
didn't-
On 80% true shooting, by the way. The highest ever for a 70-point game.
Seems like every team that plays the Rockets goes for career highs. If you
I
notice
think that's
this
why
season.
nobody talks about it.
I
What do
mean,
you
it's
make
still
of Jalen
impressive.
Carter skipping combine workouts this week? I don't
love
make
it.
much of it. He knows he's a top 3 pick. He doesn't have to do shit.
Yeah.
He knows.
I love
and
that.
I don't blame him. I don't mind at all.
What does he have to prove?
That he's fat?
No.
And that he can run like a freaking bulldozer?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Freight train over there. Let's see. Just curious, Adam balks at every draft. Oh, I missed it. That has an offensive player before the 3rd round. When, if any, would you draft someone on the offensive and what position? Okay, so the only position you could sell me on offensively. You can. If you want to take a chance on Darnell Washington in the 2nd round, be my guest. But you can. I have a top 5 offense, guys. What am I trying to accomplish here?
Yeah.
You want to draft a guard? You can do that. I'm not drafting a guard in the 2nd round. I can understand why you would do it, but again, I also don't want to understand because I have too many needs on the defensive side of the ball. Now you tell me you trade for Jalen Ramsey, or you sign Bobby Wagner. Well, okay. Now I'm interested in an offensive player because, well, I haven't spent anything to get
Right.
any of my needs. I've addressed either linebacker or corner. It's a different conversation. So, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that yet. I haven't fallen in love with any offensive player, whether on the offensive line or skill position, where I have to jump for them. If Beydoun Robinson somehow falls all the way to 30, and maybe you trade that 2nd pick and you go back in the 1st round. That would be worth it to me.
Yeah, he's...
But other than that, nah. Tough for me to do it.
Benji asks, mailbag Jeff and Adam, who's your top 3 free agents and who do you want the Lions to sign? I guess I'll go position. Because, again, there's a lot of uncertainty. Like, if we're talking about free agency in corners, I'd rather much just go trade for Jalen Ramsey. He's better than any of the free agents available. But if we had to go positions, just to make it more easier...
boys.
Number 1 linebacker, number 2 corner.
What happened
because I think
now?
the corner will be addressed in the draft. And number 3...
Guys, I
maybe a
like
guard.
all of you.
Maybe a guard.
I like all of you. All right? I like to think we have a good relationship. I like to think that I can say things to you, and you take them as constructive criticism.
Oh, boy.
Whoever put Damian Lillard is 10 times better than Steph Curry has never watched basketball in your life.
I wouldn't say 10. I don't know if I'd say
Shut
1.
the fuck up
but-
for a second.
Oh, okay.
No, he is not better. He is not better than Curry.
You need to understand, Steph Curry is who you build your team around. Damian Lillard is not that. Steph Curry
changed the NBA.
One before Kevin Durant, one with him, one after. He is the star, the anomaly, arguably the 2nd or 3rd greatest point guard ever. He changed the game of basketball. He's the greatest 3-point shooter in NBA history. Damian Lillard is maybe a top 10 point guard of all time. Maybe. I think top 10 is fair. I think he's closer to 6'7", but that's just my opinion. I don't think you guys really understand what Steph Curry does on a basketball court.
Yeah, Lillard's probably top 20, top 25. somewhere in there. But yeah, he's
Like
not
point
Curry.
guard?
No, of all
time.
Yeah, point guard. He's
Oh,
definitely.
I wouldn't put him top 25. Maybe he could make the cut.
Maybe make an argument, but yeah,
He's somewhere.
The point
That's
is,
fair.
he's not touching Curry. Like it's
No one's touching Curry, guys.
No.
He is.
He's the second best.
I wish you guys could
point
understand
guard of
just
all
how good
time.
he is off the ball. Underrated on the defensive side. So efficient. Whatever. We'll save for another day. We're out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in as always. Like the video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Send me and Jeff your mocks as always. We'll bring them back up at 8:30 as always tomorrow. Have a blessed day. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Fish, we're out of here. For everybody here at the network, thank you so much.
Go enjoy all the great sports today. Happy Tuesday.